Welcome to Future Foodcast. We are ready for another great episode with an industry expert. Shout out to our sponsor, Farm to Plate, a software company creating today's food business ecosystem. And we today have with us Josh Sanders, and he's the vice president of Seabreeze. And we're excited to unpack all that he has to share with us today. Welcome to the podcast, Josh.
Thank you for having me. I'm very much looking forward to our interview. Thank you.
Well, I am too. And now Seabreeze is really not a company that most consumers would have heard about. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Sure. So Seabreeze, there's a few different facets to our business. One is we sell to restaurants and bars, and we provide to them beverage concentrates and syrups. So sodas, juices, teas, cocktail mixers, energy drinks, smoothie mixes, a whole range of different products. And we install the equipment to dispense those products, such as bar guns and fountain dispensers. And we're soup to nuts. So we manufacture the concentrates, we distribute them with our own fleet of trucks, we install the equipment, we repair the equipment. So everything you need for a beverage program, we provide to our customers.
Yeah, nice. So you're like a full service provider. I mean, if I need that, I can just come to you and you do the whole thing, and I don't have to worry about all the details behind that.
Exactly. And so and we have our own brand of products, but we also manufacture for some national brands as well, like Arizona Iced Tea or Jones Cola, Stewart's Root Beer. We have Dr. Pepper, Royal Crown Cola, a whole range of different products. So that's one side of our business. So the other side is we pack syrups. So everything from like chocolate syrups, pancake syrups, caramel syrups in small plastic squeeze bottles. We have our own brand called Bosco. So this is one of our products right here. So you can find this in a variety of retailers across the U.S. And we also co-pack for other companies' products as well. Their own brand or it could be their own formula, or we can create it as well.
Right. Wow. Well, now you're talking when you get into the chocolate syrup and the caramel syrup and all the good stuff. I'm getting hungry as we're speaking about all that. But again, just another area of the business where you can share your expertise and that co-packing idea, again, for companies that need that source product. Mm-hmm. You're just providing a whole variety of things. You don't have to have your name on it. You'll put their name on it with
exactly.
With your formula or theirs, I guess, is what I heard you say. What a great business model you have. Now, you are a family-owned business, which I really want to highlight because this is unique in today's market with so many businesses that started out as family businesses being sold or, taken over by larger companies. Tell us a little bit about the history of your company.
Yeah, so I'm the fourth generation in our family business. So in 2 more years, we'll be around for 100 years, which we're very excited about. If you have any party ideas, I'm open ears. But my great grandfather started the business. I think it was Barnett Sanders. He came over here from Poland, and the business evolved over time. So we start off doing, or he started off, not we. It was just a single person at this point in time. He started off doing seltzer delivery. So think of thick glass bottles, and then you fill with seltzer and you deliver it to people's homes and businesses. And he would then go back when they're empty and take back the empties and refill them again. So that's how he started off. And then from there, we moved into, flavored syrups and seltzers. And then it just kept on evolving. So now we have over about 125 make the stock products altogether. So, and we, used to also just be, even as a syrup, you pour it into a glass, you mix some water with it, and that was your beverage. And now we have dispensing systems that we install. So it's, and we don't know what the future will hold, but that's, we like to keep on evolving, and the business has definitely evolved over time.
Yeah, keeping up with technology and kind of automating some of the processes. I love that. But Josh, over the 98 years and counting, I'll work on the party ideas in between now and 2 years from now. I think that's a fun challenge. I would love to be a part of that. Your grandfather, all the family members, since you're fourth generation, great grandfather, must have had some really cool experiences. Can you share some of that with us? I mean, 98 years, you think about what was happening back when he was doing the seltzer business and then moving up to today.
Yeah, no, I mean, business is definitely can be challenging. And hey, we now live through 2 pandemics throughout the course of our business, and every other economic and other calamities throughout the years in the political world. But we've always kept on going. One way or another, we found a way to survive and thrive. We've been lean and mean, and that's kind of the one of the tenets of our operation, just finding ways to look to see, what do we need? What's the necessary things to run our business and to kind of cut the fat out. So that way we can, stay competitive with, other companies that do something similar to what we do and just making sure our customers are happy. It's that balance of, doing, spending the money right, so that way you can operate efficiently.
Absolutely. And that is the true mark of entrepreneurship, constantly thinking about that. And I was also thinking about some of the fun exposure that you might have had, like where your syrups or sauces, might have been profiled or previewed. I don't know if you have any fun stories about that.
Yeah, of course. So our chocolate syrup called Bosco. So oddly enough, Bosco's been around since 1928. Seabreeze has been around since 1925, 2 separate entities, but similar origins. But we've only picked up Bosco since the early 1980s. But Bosco was marketed heavily by a previous owner of Bosco. It was on, all the shows in the 50s and 60s, like the Dick Van Dyke Show and the Bert and Shirley and all these shows that, a lot of baby boomer eras would remember. But more recently, and throughout the years, it's been on a lot of other interesting things like Seinfeld. There's a whole episode of Seinfeld called The Secret Code. And the secret code, well, I don't want to give it away too much, but maybe a little bit. So the secret code was Bosco. So it was George Costanza's ATM pin. So that was fun to see that. And oddly enough, at the time, we sent out cases of our chocolate syrup to a variety of celebrities and networks. And they literally just had it laying around, and they wound up using it in an entire episode. They didn't tell us about it ahead of time. They were going to use our chocolate syrup in an episode, and we liked the show as a family, so we were watching it at the time, and we're like, oh, they just mentioned Bosco. They mentioned it again and again and again, and we were taken aback. The whole episode was essentially based on our product, and even the other references back in the day. Alfred Hitchcock, who's known for his horror films, was black and white at the time. And the consistency of our chocolate syrup in black and white looks very much like blood. So it was used there's an infamous shower scene where someone's getting murdered, and the blood running through was actually Bosco. So we were excited for that then too. And then more recently, like just different things, like there's an artist named Vic Muniz who famously painted with our chocolate syrup, and he would sell them for $100,000 each, I'm not sure where they eventually wound up, but unfortunately we couldn't afford to buy them, but someone did, and just different little things here and there. We've been on the Food Network before. We've been on the History Channel for the history of chocolate. Just different things throughout the years.
Yeah, that is so fun. I'm sure you've got those cataloged, just for the whole company and the history and all of that. But it's really fun, and I think going back to growing and continuing to try to innovate and all of that. I mean, you're growing in a big way, getting into some of the larger stores. I think you talked about one of the larger health food stores, not health food,
yeah,
but
yeah, we could consider that, I suppose. So we're in a variety of retailers across the country for our Bosco and other products that we make too as well. But we're excited. We have a new product out. It's a Bosco Fair Trade chocolate syrup. Wow. So it's now available in Whole Foods across the country. It's a little bit of a premium price, but it's definitely worth it. It's ingredients that you can be happy that you're going to have in your body. So it's definitely a delicious tasting product for sure.
Well, and a lot of consumers are willing to pay a premium price these days for the knowing what's in their product and getting the ingredients they want and not getting the ingredients they don't want. So those are all key things that go in there. But I think,
Absolutely.
Over the years that your company has been in existence, you didn't stay in existence by just kind of going your own way. Like you were saying before, you're always evaluating and trying to figure out, what's the best way to continue forward in business, and being very cautious with your money and your investments. And but what I heard throughout our conversation was the customer, like doing the right thing by the customer and paying attention to what they want and trying to evaluate that way. I don't know how you go about doing that. I mean, do you do surveys, or are you just out there always asking? How does that happen on an ongoing basis?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have two different routes to market. So we have the food service customers, restaurant and bar owners, and we deal directly with them. So we hear directly from them, either from our delivery drivers or from our sales reps, or so we're very much intertwined with their needs and desires for how we can operate better. So we hear from them. They say, hey, we need XYZ product, or we need to make sure you can be able to deliver on this day. We'll listen to that and make changes. And we're small enough that we can. We're not some huge conglomerate where it takes 20 years to figure out how to make a change. We're nimble and we can get things done. And then for our consumers that buy like Bosco, we have a fan page on Facebook. We got I think about 11,000 followers right now, which we're excited about. So
cool.
when we do something, we hear from them. So they're very vocal as far as what they're looking for. There's certain things we can and can't do. Like, for instance, we've gotten throughout the years requests for a peanut butter syrup, but the one problem is that it's an allergen. So it's tough to make certain products without going through a lot of hoopla for regulation. So, but maybe one day we'll get a peanut butter syrup out there.
Yeah, you got to figure that out. It sounds appealing, and I'd be combining that with the chocolate syrup for sure. But I'm not allergic to peanuts, so if I did have some allergy to peanuts, certainly that is definitely some more regulation for you to go through. But I have no doubt that you're going to be navigating the waters moving forward, Josh. You have for all these years, and it seems like you've got a great process. You have a close-knit group. You talked about some of your employees being there for a really long time.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a delivery driver who retired. I think it's been 2 years now, but he was with us for 55 years.
Oh my goodness.
In the same position, 55 years. So that's unheard of in, I think, in today's environment where you stay at a company for so long. But he's not, oddly enough. He's definitely the winner as far as the amount of years of anyone that's worked in our company before. But he's not the anomaly. So we've had, like right now, we got people who've been with us for 40 years, 45 years, 30 years, 20 years. We got plenty of people who, been with us for decades and decades. And it's not just, one member of the family. We got two brothers we got 3 sets of brothers who work for us. 2 that are identical twins, and we had to go in separate apartments so we know who they are. So, we're a nice family operation here, and more than just me and my father who run the operation, but other family members as well.
Yeah, how nice. And then there are things about working with your family. I love the identical twin story. You have them put in separate departments when they're identical. And I guess even as adults, it's still identical. That's so interesting. But certain things, you're always looking for employees who are not going to lie, going to be honest and keep up the integrity of the company and the values that your forefathers for the company. And those family members are going to do that. It's really nice to have that there. Plus, those long-term employees, they didn't get to stay there by goofing off and not, doing their best every day and really kind of partnering with you and the company to get their job done. I love that kind of story because, again, a lot of food businesses are having trouble with employees right now. The loyalty or lack thereof, and having a lot of turnover. And, I'm sure you have your share of that, but not as much based on the culture that you've developed at Seabreeze. I mean, it sounds really strong.
Absolutely. No, we have a strong culture here. We have certain values that we live up to here. And if we find someone doesn't have the same mindset, we don't want them here. We want people who have the right mindset, the people who are honest and have integrity and can also, lift heavy things. If it depends on the position that they're in, but the core, you start off with those things, and then everything else would hopefully falls into place after that.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of it's really just training to teach them the job or bring their expertise to bear or whatever. So, but those core values are so important when you're not only building a company, but just keeping the company moving forward in today's market. So that's really kudos to you and your team, because obviously you've done a great job. We've talked about a lot of fun things. And we will figure out about the 100-year anniversary. But in the meantime, is there anything that we haven't covered that you'd like to share with our future Foodcast audience about your company or your people or what's going on?
Yeah. You know what? I forgot to mention our chocolate syrup. But we also have a sea salt caramel syrup, which is, I have to say, this one is very delicious. So this is great on ice cream or milk. It's just a spectacular flavor. We came out this about, I don't know, maybe 7 years ago, and I'd say it's almost the point where it might surpass chocolate syrup. It's a very delicious product.
No kidding. That's saying a lot that it's going to surpass the chocolate syrup. That must be really good. I'm going to have to try that. Again, you're making me hungry. I'm getting hungry here. Nothing better than a good caramel syrup. Yum. It's delicious. Thanks for sharing that with us. And I hope our listeners go out and try that as well. And I'm so glad that you came by to talk to us about your company and the products and just really your whole approach to your culture and your people and your business. It's just refreshing. And I'm glad that our audience is getting to hear from you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for listening to Future Foodcast. Future Foodcast is powered by Farm to Plate, the leading food blockchain platform. Subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts to stay up to date with the very latest innovations in the food industry.